Thank you for coming. As you may or may not know, we had this evening a simulator in a large aircraft, an Embraer 190, landed on runway 6 in inclement weather and caught a wingtip, which tore the wing off, and then the fuselage left the runway and broke into 3 sections and split into 3 pieces, caught on fire, and we have responded to that emergency. We know that there are people that have been injured, and we know that there may have been people that are fatalities. I don't have the exact numbers yet. We're still waiting for that information to come in. Preliminarily, we know from the company that owns the aircraft that there's a minimum of 90 people on board, passengers, and a crew of 3. And so at this point, I don't have much of anything else to say officially, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, considering the weather conditions, were you happy with the response time?
Yes, considering the weather.
How many people have been injured?
We don't know yet. We're still waiting to have a count.
How many people are on board?
90 people plus 3 passengers, 3 crew. So we're still waiting to hear the results from the field. We have not gotten a tally from the command post yet.
Are they all pig powders?
I don't know. We'll wait till we get the manifest from the company.
There was a rumor there might have been criminal activity involved with this. Do you have anything on that?
Not to our knowledge, but the police are here, and if there is that had occurred, then they will investigate.
How long before you know what the problem was? Why this happened?
That will be a while, because normally what happens is that we take control of the scene, and then we wait until the accident is, investigators get here from the National Transportation Safety Board. That could take up to a year sometimes to figure out what actually caused the accident.
Why was the plane allowed to land in inclement weather like this?
Oh, they always do. As long as the aircraft is allowed to land here and it meets the weather minimums for arrival and landing, they can come in.
As far as information is concerned, are you going to continuously have press conferences?
Yes, I intend to have a follow-up conference within an hour. And I should be able to give you an update on the status of any survivors and those that were injured.
Are families arriving?
Families are arriving. They're being assisted by the Red Cross. And
what are they being told?
I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
Will the National Transportation Safety Board be here?
Yes, they've been called. I don't know exactly when they'll be arriving yet. I'm sure they're making their travel arrangements to get here at this time.
As well as the NTSB?
Sorry?
As well as the...
That is the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board.
FAA?
FAA has been notified, and they have FAA inspectors that come out of Burlington, Massachusetts. So I would say a minimum of 2 to 3 hours before any of them could even get here. Massachusetts Department of Transportation has been notified. I'm trying to think of what his exact title is. He's the accident investigator for the state, and he has been notified, and it could take him up to 2 hours to get here.
Do you think you have enough emergency vehicles on the field to handle an emergency like this?
Not on the field. That's why we do what we do. The airport is the primary responder, the first responder, and we're backed up immediately by the Hyannis Fire Department. They're usually here within 5 minutes, and when they arrive, they take control of the scene, and then we work for them. So we're the first responders, they're second, and then become primary. And then if it's beyond the scope of those that are responding, then we call in mutual assistance from all other Cape Towns. And that's what you're seeing on the field. We have mutual assistance fire departments from I think I've signed Yarmouth and Harwich, and I'm not sure if Falmouth came here yet or not. So I'll have an exact tally later.
What's happening with incoming and outgoing flights?
The airfield is closed. Whenever there's an accident on the airfield is immediately closed.
How long do you see the airfield closed for?
Only until we can ascertain what we need to keep protected. So once we've responded to the scene and safeguarded the wreckage and handled all of the survivors and anybody that may have been a fatal accident, we can reopen a portion of the airport, but we have to keep the scene of the accident complete until the arrival of the National Transportation Safety Board.
Any flights arriving here, where would they be?
It would be diverted to another airport in the interim. Probably New Bedford or Plymouth or Boston.
Reports are already coming out from social media giving us a passenger list. Can you give us a couple of names of the people that have been?
No, I can't do that until it's all confirmed by the corporation.
Will there be a spokesman from the airline available to us?
Yes, there will be, as soon as their team gets here from this particular case from New York. So when their team arrives, then they will be participating in the press releases, press conferences at that time.
What will your role be as far as this investigation is concerned?
My role is just, I'm the airport manager, and we control the airport, and we're here to cooperate and work with the National Transportation Safety Board and then the other law enforcement agency at the time.
What do you think caused this crash?
No idea. That'll be determined by the NTSB.
Is there anything that you think that could have prevented the crash from happening?
No, not until we know what caused the accident, then we would know. If there was something at the airfield that was a problem, and that would be ascertained by the investigation, and it would be fixed.
How many?
Hopefully nothing's wrong with the airport, because we go through our annual inspections by the FAA, and if there's anything that would be wrong with the airport, it would be put out in what they call a notice to airmen, and we don't have any notice to airmen out at this point with any closures of the runways or anything like that.
As far as different departments are concerned out on the field, you have a variety of departments, fire and rescue, from different departments across Cape Cod out there right now?
Yes.
Who are they?
I don't know yet. I just mentioned earlier that we were waiting to get that information from the command post.
Did the landing pattern have anything to do with the neighbors' noise complaints about the airport operations?
We do get occasional noise complaints from neighbors. Right now they're at a minimum at the moment. As you may or not know, aircraft have gotten a lot quieter lately, and there aren't as many flights out of this airport as there used to be. So they're on the decline at the moment. Any other questions?
Are we considering anything that's been going on in terrorist-wise in the military thing?
We normally notify the Coast Guard, but it's usually that's a police matter, and the state police have teams that would ascertain that, and they would respond accordingly. But right now, we don't have any knowledge of that.
The fire from the crash, is that a threat to any structures, fuel lodges, anything like that? Fuel
Not at the
storage?
moment, no.
From what you've seen of and heard from the site, would you consider this a successful response, and why or why not?
At this point, I would say yes. Until I get more details on what actually happened out on the scene, then I would be able to give you an update in about an hour.
How do you quantify a successful response?
That we've done the best that we possibly can to minimize injuries and property damage.
How do firefighters and responders from other towns know how to operate on the airport? Do you do any kind of training?
Yes, we do. We have training with the other departments with tabletop exercises every year, and we do this drill every 3 years, or a drill every 3 years to bring people up to speed on how to operate here at the airport.